Okay, so nobody's getting the truth from the mainstream media, folks. It's well past time to open your eyes, your ears, and your mind. Do your own research because something isn't right here. And if you can't see that, you are not paying attention, folks.
It's the opportunity to forge for ourselves and for future generations a new world order. A world where the rule of law, not the law of the jungle, governs the conduct of nations.
So let's look at each one of these and see how we can get this down to zero. Probably one of these numbers is going to have to get pretty near to zero. Now that's back from high school algebra, but let's take a look. First, we've got population. The world today has 6.8 billion people. That's headed up to about 9 billion. Now, if we do a really great job on new vaccines, healthcare, reproductive health services, we could lower that by perhaps 10 or 15%.
The important message that we need Australians to get vaccinated as quickly as possible. In line with that, I do encourage all Australians to please go and book your vaccinations as soon as you can if you haven't already done so.
Emma, get away!
When we are successful, and we will be, we have a real chance at this new world order, an order in which a credible United Nations can use its peacekeeping role to fulfill the promise and vision of the UN's founders.
Okay, we need to stand up against this tyranny, folks. Stop giving away your freedoms and liberties, because the more you give up, the more these people will take until you have absolutely nothing left. That's their agenda. All right, good evening, folks. How are you? It's hump day once again, wacky Wednesday, and the world's gone wacky. And yeah, we're just trying to sort out our little island here, guys, aren't we? But number one, look, guys, I think you'd know by now, but yeah, Dad had passed away yesterday at 3:30 p.m. I didn't say anything on the show last night for the simple fact that we hadn't got on to all the family and that, and you know, let everyone know. So, you know, I thought it was a bit rough putting it out there in the intersphere or whatever you call it, the stratosphere out there, before everyone in the family, you know, had the chance to actually. I got cousins everywhere, guys. All right, so. But anyway, yeah, Dad went to be with the Lord. We left him about 1:30, 2 o'clock Tuesday, yesterday afternoon on the 18th, and at 3:30 he left us, guys. So he's in a better place. I'm happy with that. Okay, I'm happy with the fact that he's gone to a better place. Maybe not happy with the circumstances around it, but anyway, that's the life that we're dealing with. And so that's that one out of the way. Thanks for everybody's prayers. All right, we've obviously got God's will, and yeah, he's gone to be with God. So number two, I'm going to start with this because the actual guest we've got on tonight, all right, and share it out, guys. It's going to be a cracking show, all right. You know, I don't advertise guests, as you know, because when I do, we just get hammered even more by censorship. So everyone hit the button now, hit the like button, you know, try and give it a bit of a pump. And but guys, I'm going to start with this, right? And the gentleman who's coming on tonight will understand exactly what this statement means, and he's around my age and a little bit younger. But yeah, what a wicked web we weave when at first we do deceive. Now, my mother whacked this into me, guys, whacked it into me. Okay, and you know, our guest tonight would have seen a heap of webs, you know what I mean, that were weaved around him and his life, you know what I mean, as he was like, you know, taking on the cabal side of a journey that he didn't ever ask for, he just happened to receive, you know what I mean, but what a man to receive it. Okay, but before we get to that, and we've got another gentleman on here too with him, but before we get to there, guys, I've heard a bit of a clip today with John Wilson. All right, and guys, right, let me just say, all right, in this whole Bosie, you know, bullshit, all right, I've said nothing. I've kept my mouth shut, and I've just been a pure gentleman. Okay, that's what I've tried to be, guys. I've talked to God about it, and this is no character assassination. This is nothing. But what you'll find out after we do the show tomorrow night is that what I've done is made a decision to actually stand in what I preach on this screen, okay, which is to stand in truth. And there's been some untruths, guys. Okay, and as I said, I haven't gone out fucking bagging anyone or doing anything. All right, I've asked some questions, and we will go over it tomorrow night, and then it will be finished. All right, it's not a character assassination. It's actually laying the truth on the table so everyone can do whatever they want to do. Let's just move forward and stop this friggin' cabal machine, right, from ruining our lives and our future. So, John Wilson, all right, mate, I thought, like, mate, the Indians, they had a saying, and that was white fella, he talks with a forked tongue. And John, sorry, mate, but you've gone on a rant this morning, okay, a very unfounded rant. You haven't rung me, son. I can call you son because I'm the same age as you, mate, and we use that language. So I'm calling you son now, John. You haven't even rung me, son. You know what that means? From someone my age to your age, son. You haven't rung me. You haven't discussed anything, but you've gone out in a rant. You're an amateur, mate. I thought you were better than that, bro. And I'm not pissing on you here or anything. I'm just saying the truth. Okay? But, John, you've gone out. What? I've betrayed Bosie. You hope I've got a drug problem. Well, sorry, there's no drug problem. Well, there probably is. Here it is. Okay? All right? That you hope I've got a drug problem. Well, thanks, John. Okay, but I haven't. Okay? If I do, I'll let you know. Okay, but you hope you have, because then you would actually be able to forgive me for betraying Bosie. Really? Really? Okay. Well, I think you better tune in tomorrow night, John. All right, you're saying that I'd be bearing false witness. Well, mate, tune in tomorrow night, please. All right, that's all I'd like to say, because I'm going to put this to bed once and for all. Okay, and then it's over, guys. That's it. Okay, but yeah, listen, son, if you're not going to ring me, how can you go out in a rant and carry on about me, this, betrayal, that? Mate, when you find out what's really happened, I think you'll be a little bit shocked, John. Okay, so yeah, I've tried to be a gentleman all the way through this, and tomorrow night I will continue to have the same mannerism, guys. It's not character assassination. What it is truth, which is what we've all been friggin' fighting for, which we don't get any of. All right, so on that, a bloke who has told the truth and has stood in his truth, all right, and been on a journey, all right, has prosecuted the police, written a book, and is now doing movies and films and, interviews with Channel 7, 60 Minutes. All right. And this is what we want, guys. Right. He didn't even know my channel. All right. And this is how we've got to be. All right. That's not nothing derogative from Mr. Fisher to me. That is that we all stay in our own lanes. I wasn't a member of his group on Facebook because I don't get the time to look, guys. All right. Really. But we're about to, listen to that burnout. And then we're about to get Glenn and Ray on the show. All right. Sean from Mr. Robot off Twitter and that has not come on, but we've got Brad here, Ray, sorry. And we've got Glenn Fisher and Cazz. And boys, come on in. And girls. How you going? So,
Hey, well,
look, look at Cazz's beautiful hair up there, Glenn, above you. Look at that.
Is John Wilson the John Wilson you're talking about from the Blue Mountains?
No, the other one
sweet.
from up in Brisbane, mate. Yeah, no, I know John Wilson from. Yeah, he's had a bloody rough time. They've given it to him, haven't they? The poor old fella.
Yeah, that John has. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
he's a beautiful guy. That's why I was confused. I'm like, John is one of those beautiful, peaceful, lovely guys I know. What's he done?
No. The other John Wilson, mate. A lot of people just talking out of school. Glenn, you'll know about that, mate. We don't talk
absolutely.
Out of school.
I have a block button and I will use it.
I have a phone. I like people to actually use that. My number's public, mate. You know what I mean?
Yeah, right.
Anyone can get hold of me. So, yeah, I like a phone call and a man-to-man talk. So people can then go flapping their gums on something they actually know something about. You know what I mean? But this is the world we live in, isn't it? And that's a world you grew up in, Glenn. A world of deception, lies, webs.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I think most people will know who you are, mate, but introduce you and Ray. And, let's put out there what you're up to and what you're doing, brother.
Too easy. So you want me to speak?
Yeah, you go for it.
Yeah, all right,
Introduce
mate.
yourself and Ray, and yeah.
Yeah, well, my name's Glenn Fisher. I'm the author of the book Predator's Paradise. Yeah, I was raised in the system, and then I landed on the streets of King's Cross. My whole life's been plagued by predators, pedophiles, and I lost a girlfriend when I was 15, so I decided eventually to turn it around, and now I've been through 2 royal commissions, 4 trials, put 4 of the fuckers in jail, another one about to go, possibly go to jail, and a 5th one by proxy. So, you know, I've been busy, and I run a thing called the Leg Up Project now. Yeah, I have. I've just done Rise and Fall of King's Cross, been on a current affair, writing a 2nd book, and just turned my life. My life has flipped 180 in the last 12 months. And you know what changed it? Is when I started being selfless and started helping other people.
You got it, brother. You are exactly right. You know, when you start giving, and, you know, we see the same, you know, we get things against us, but we see the same results here in this little studio, Glenn. You know, the more we give, you know, the more we see, you know, people getting a benefit from it. And that's what keeps you going. And that's what, you know, gives you those little, like, you know, increments that, you know, just keep climbing, just keep going. You know what I mean? Don't give up. You know what I mean? Because
absolutely,
yeah, the one person you touch could touch 1,000 people, guys. This is what we don't understand. You know what I mean? So, yeah, Ray, how are you going? What's your I know what it is, but tell the people what your role is here, and yeah, what you do with Glenn and what you're up to.
All right, so Glenn's the next generation. So Glenn comes into the story in the 80s, and I'm unfortunately the 60s and 70s, where I was taken away from my family at a very young age because I stole fruit off a fruit cart. I went into building sites and helped myself with some money and stuff like that. And it was all the child welfare system that ended up taking my brothers and my sister. And I even found out now that my mum was even taken away at a very young age as well and used as a servant over at Wallara when she turned 15. Now, my whole project is to let the government know that enough's enough with this raping of children, you know, in care, in foster homes, you know, all these institutions they say have now gone. Well, it's now just a different name. It's juvenile justice, okay? And my podcast and my project that I want to do is get the word out there to the government that, you know, the kids have had enough. We were seen and not heard before, but now we're going to be seen and we're going to be listened to. You know, people are going to listen to what we have got to say. You know, it's gone on for too long where the solicitors are making big pocket money out of us because we're telling our sad stories of what happened to us 30, 40, 50 years ago, 60 years ago. You know, the government took us in as delinquents, retarded kids. They branded us all with these names, which is incorrect. I'm not a retard. I speak really well. You know, I'm sure Glenn does. I mean, our stories
really well, bro.
You know,
really
our stories are true. We lived through it. We survived it all. You know,
absolutely, brother.
And we need support. You know, the government's not going to fund our podcasts or our films or anything that we want to do. We're going to have to do it ourselves. We're going to have to let the future generation of kids and families know that the government, they're not there to help you. They're there to fuck you. All right? They're there to fuck your life. And we've had enough of it. And I think what we should do is really support myself, Glenn, the GoFundMe scenario with me. I mean, we need money to get these stories out. These stories are untold and they need to be told. You know, they've tagged me a forgotten Australian since I got involved with this in the Woods Royal Commission in 1996. You know, a forgotten Australian. You know, I was a state ward. I was supposed to be in their care. I was supposed to be loved, looked after, and educated. Things I didn't ever get when I was in the system. You know? And I think your listeners, if they can help us all out, me, Glenn, whoever wants to get these stories out on TV, wherever it'll be put, we need to get them out there and we need to be listened to. And this time, listen to what kids and survivors have got to say. because we're not lawyers. We don't go to court cases and get, you know, the proper services that we need off the judges. The judges are letting us down. They're letting the police down. You know, they get a victim into a courtroom and they give him what? He abuses him or he rapes her at 5, 6, 7-year-old, I'm saying. What's he get? 2 years, 18 months. What sort of a sentence is that? You know,
the 4 people I've had
that's
convicted,
what I'm all about.
Yep,
3
thank
of them
you.
have got 18 months and one has got 2 years, 8 months, and then the last one, 10 years. On the government is fucking complicit in our abuse, right? There is corruption at every level. And once we start addressing that as a nation, only then will we start to make the headroads that are fucking needed.
Yeah. Okay,
That's
so
right.
in saying you're getting out into different places, I'll let Cazz come in after this. Yeah, you know, you're getting out. So, Glenn, I mentioned you've got a few things coming up. You've got Channel 7, you've got, you know, another 60 Minutes coming up. What else have you got in the pipeline? And then tell us why you need money. Obviously, I know you're doing a film and putting a film together and stuff like that. All right, so you just explain to the people what you're up to and what the ambition is here.
So I run multiple things. I run a thing called the Leg Up Project where I go down and help homeless on the streets. So that's one area. Sean is running a thing called the Innocent Project where he's doing stories on people like us raised in institutions who end up, you know, landing on the streets. That's the main two, I guess. Yeah, I do. I have a documentary coming up on Channel 7 called The Rise and Fall of King's Cross. It's a 3 90-minute segments, and I feature very heavily in all of it, right through beginning, middle, and end, I'm told. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff coming up in the near future. The Innocent Project, as I just said, it's hard to remember it all, like to grasp it all. I've got so many podcasts I've done and I'm doing. Yeah, but I don't really need money per se for what I do, but Sean does for what he's doing for the Innocent Project. And I sell my book and I use my book money and donations that I get for items to hand out to homeless on the street.
Okay, Cazz, come in, darling. Sorry.
Yeah, no, I was just going to pull in a couple of things, guys. I'll share this in the chat. This is Glenn's Predator's Paradise, A Journey of Survival and Resilience. And this is available on Amazon. And I'll just pop that into actually, before I do that, I just want to bring this in. Now, while you're talking about the judges, this is one of the craziest things. Now, this is not actually available on Australian news that I've found. But the man who raped a woman while believing he was in a video game is cleared of criminal responsibility in Australia.
Oh.
So it's a 26-year-old. He broke into a 26-year-old woman's apartment and raped her while armed with a meat cleaver. He's
but he was in a video game.
Responsibility, yeah, because he thought he was in a video game. So
is that Jane Doherty's story?
No, I don't know that that's Jane Doherty. It doesn't actually mention the person. Oh, yeah, no, Jane Doherty. Which sex crime squad commander Jane Doherty had told reporters at the time was horrendous. So, it's like.
Comment, Glenn, you know about it? Yeah, what give us a comment on it, Glenn? You obviously know.
Oh, no, I was reading on it, but I would like to talk to what you just said, Cazz, in relation to judges, in relation to my own story. So for those that don't know, I was placed into a refuge when I was 14 years old that was run by 5 pedophile men. The judge was founded by the Prime Minister, Bob Hawke. It was founded by Rob Blackmore, a children's magistrate, and it had 7 magistrates on board. But it gets worse. My beautiful girlfriend was murdered when I was 15 years old. Her killers were caught and convicted, got 20 fucking years. They appealed and went before a judge named Judge Yeldon. Now, Google that if you want, Judge Yeldon. He is a pedophile judge who was having sex with fucking little boys in Museum and Wynyard train station. And then the police were catching him, charging him $10,000 for doing it and letting him go. Has he got a book? Is there a book on that? I haven't seen that.
I recognise the name. This is Shane Dowling's pedophile protection racket, talking about what's going on. And I recognise Judge Yeldon from there, but I can't remember exactly what.
Yeah, Yeldon was part of the Woods Commission as well. You know, he was in on that.
My girlfriend's killers free, bro, and then knocked himself 2 weeks later.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Unreal.
Yeah.
Just unreal. So yeah, it's been quite a ride then, Glenn. As I said, we ran into each other a while ago. We were talking about 12 months ago, 18 months ago, and you were doing some other stuff, but you've really put your focus into what you're doing now about exposing, you know what I mean? And guys, you know, as someone just wrote in the comments, Frank, I think it was a minute ago, these guys, I put it on the screen, these guys are our national heroes. These are the guys who should have got the medals that Dan Andrews and McGowan got, you know, 2 weeks ago. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
These guys,
Yeah.
you know, this is our national heroes, but guys, the people that are standing up, putting their life on the line and winning and exposing what these frigging mothers have been up to, you know, and it's got to stop, guys. And this is the way you're going to stop it. All right. It's by exposure. It's by putting it out there. And yeah, it's great that you're on the mainstream and you're getting like time on there, Glenn. I could never get any time on there, mate. I've been on with a couple of them, you know what I mean? One got me in court and the other one was John Laws, but I give him a bit of a touch-up. He tried to belt me around the ring, but I danced him all interview, you know what I mean, and done pretty well against him, actually. But, he's a nightmare, mate. He's a wicked man.
You know, guys, I wouldn't mind getting a comment on just a couple of things here because it's not just it seems to be supported by the media and it also seems to be supported by we now have a commissioner. Commissioner Karen, and this is a situation that's gone on recently in the last couple of days.
Ooh, I'm mad today. She mad today. She mad today. So yeah, I had my video where I exposed the Melbourne Primary School taken down off Meta, Instagram. Zero warning, zero notification, absolutely nothing. Senator Ralph Babette also had his post taken down due to the fact that he was bullying and harassing the e-safety commissar. G'day, Jules. But I really want you all to watch this. This aired on Channel 7, and if this doesn't wake you the fuck up, I don't know what will.
The Albanese government is being accused of turning toddlers into activists at childcare centres. For more now, we're joined live by Dr. Bella Debrera from the Institute of Public Affairs. Bella, thank you for joining us. You've unpacked the current curriculum. What did you find?
Well, our research has uncovered something that parents should be really worried about. And essentially, you have a document that's designed to educate toddlers. But in that document, you have diversity, equity, and inclusion mentioned over 140 times, and you have Indigenous issues mentioned over 90 times. But you don't get
and parents zero.
Of mum or dad once, and I think that really shows you that there's something to worry about.
Are you concerned our education facilities have the wrong priorities?
Oh, absolutely. Look, the fact that the document is very concerned with social justice and radical gender theory shows that the priorities are very, very wrong. I mean, there is no place in childcare education for indoctrination, but you should not be talking to toddlers about radical gender theory.
Is there a place at all for...
We'll leave it there.
Yeah, it'll be on the website, guys.
Yeah, I've been following that story quite heavily, man, and it's disturbing. The way that that we're... molding impressionable young minds, like kids need to be fucking kids, man. And when they're, I mean, especially at that age, you know what I mean? And like even creating a curriculum, it should be crayons, playing in the sand and just doing kid stuff, not learning all these political agendas and creating activists before they've even reached primary school. You know what I mean? It's insanity.
It is. It's totally insanity. Yeah. Go, Ray.
Kids were, you know, when we were kids, we were kids. You know, you had mates, you played out in the back laneway, you know, you played cricket in the street, you know. These days, there's no monkey bars in the park. You know, you've got rubber in case the kids fall. I understand that. But I really can't understand where you're in a shopping centre and you see a parent chastising their child for either taking the chocolate and opening it up and eating it, and then you've got someone coming down and saying, hey, you can't do that anymore. You can be charged for that. If my son or my daughter was stealing, I would chastise them the way I wanted to. I'm old school. I'd slap them on the arm or I'd give them a little slap on the bottom or something like that. That's wrong. You know, I wouldn't belt them hard, like knock them out of the bloody shopping centre. But that's what you're seeing today. It's just bullshit.
Yeah, we've had all the control taken off us. That started a long time ago, you know, in the schools and that, you know, teaching the kids about their own private time. Yeah, Cazz?
Well, we've also had the situation where Justice Rolfe, now Julian Gillespie has been going after Justice Rolfe because of the contamination of the vaccines. And it's turned out when they did some research on who she was, she's actually, her family is very well connected. She's known as the Pfizer Queen. So she was ruling on a case that she has ties with, or appears to have ties with.
Well, that's how you get the result that you want, isn't it? That's exactly how you get the result that you want and you need. You know, you put the people in place to actually give you the result. This is, look at Karen. Just like, full on CIA. They don't care. They do not care. They know that we're going to research her and find out everything she's done and what she's been up to. And now we have, and we know who she is, but they don't care. They knew we'd find out that information. They're building camps all around the world for you people, you dissidents, you people that want to stand up against, the friggin' regime. So you better get together, guys. Yeah.
And on top of that, let's not forget that they've given themselves a pay rise. I mean, for like at a high cost of living with the inflation like it is, and then on top of that, they've actually given themselves a pay rise. Like.
The problem in our country is we have an inner circle of a small minority of people making major decisions for an entire country. And that's what's frightening to me. And it goes back to even mine and Ray's era, being raised in the institutions and the coercive power that was stored upon us back then. The physical abuse, the sexual abuse, the sayings that go on. What ends up happening is kids like that grow up to either be in jail, on drugs, all the things that happened to myself. I become a heroin addict. It spent time in jail for armed robbery because of, it's a natural progression. And the government doesn't seem to get it. I don't know. They seem so fucking afraid of everything that they're making things. I don't know. It's just crazy.
It is, mate. It is.
You look at the institutions that were in, Glenn, like Yasma.
Did you want me to read that poem, Cazz?
Yeah, just Ray's just talking at the moment. Ray, you just Melly, you might want to turn him up a bit. It's a bit soft.
Yeah, I can't hear
him.
Yeah,
he talks loud. Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry, I was just saying the institutions. Let's talk about Yasma. Like, you get transferred there from your own house into a complex that is like, I don't know, 10 meters high. It's like 10 all around you. You go in there, you've got an officer that's telling you what to do, shower, go to the toilet. You're marching to breakfast, lunch and tea. There's no school in there. I didn't have any educational school when I was in there. They're allowed to discipline you. Their disciplining is a punch in the stomach, a slap across the head, for no reason at all. There's no reason at all that some of the guys that I've seen just get slapped around the head. The molestation and the abuse and the physical abuse that went on in these institutions, unseen and unheard of until, look, 2013, we had the Royal Commission. That is the first time a lot of people would have had to tell their story. And this is supposed to be Australia. We're supposed to be loving kids and caring about kids. Well, there was no love and care back in the day, back in Glenn's day, back in my day, back in my mum's day, and back in the 50s of my sisters. It was appalling, and the government want to throw a pathetic amount of money at you and give you a little piece of paper saying, we're sorry. Not good enough, guys. Not good enough at all.
Can I just speak to that for 1 second?
Yeah.
Sorry, the policies that were made in Yasma, I want to give you an indication of a policy made that was fucking insane that impacted me. So I was on the junior side with my brother in Yasma, right, when I was 13 years of age. What ends up happening was someone in their infinite wisdom in the government decided that we were now going to separate siblings. So what happens is, because I'm the older sibling, I am now put onto the senior side of Yasma with 16 and above, which meant that I was subjected to the most gross behaviour by older boys who had reached puberty. I'm a boy that's now 13 who looks like he's about 10, who hasn't even reached puberty. I spent my entire time being sexually harassed, my entire time in Yasma. But the worst one was I wet the bed, right? I own it. I wet the bed. I was 13 years old. I got up in the middle of the night and tried to tell the officer, please can I get some sheets and have a shower so the kids don't know when I get up? You know what they made me do, Ray? They made me stand outside naked in the hallway and hold my fucking sheet like that till 6 a.m. in the morning. That is just fucking insanity. And they don't expect people to grow up like me and be angry.
Well, I don't mind saying, I don't mind letting your viewers know that at 8-year-old, I'm in there for 2 weeks and I'm raped at 8-year-old. Who am I going to tell? All right, who am I going to tell at 8-year-old? I had no medical treatment, no nothing. I had to go to bed that night, cry myself to sleep, you know, and that's never left me. The first time I was in Yasmar Detention Centre at Haberfield in New South Wales, like 8-year-old. Never forget it, never forget the officer, never forget what he looked like, but I couldn't do a thing about it. And it still haunts me today. So that's the sort of institutions that me and Glenn had to go through and endure. You know, most of it was all military. So I used to always think that the army, once the war and that broke down, they had to put these sergeants and corporals somewhere. So I thought some of them might have gone in there to do the discipline of young kids, young juveniles, young disadvantaged children and parents that were going through a hard time in their life anyhow, with wars, poverty. You know, it was hard back then. The government really needs to stop and look at what us survivors have survived. This is why we had the Royal Commission. This is why we want the system to change. Children have got to be listened to.
With the Royal Commission, I know that the terms of reference were basically messed with, but also what's with the suppression orders that have been placed on these various commissions?
That's fucking insanity. And they try and still deny it. And I can tell you 100% it's fucking fact, right? I went to both Royal Commissions when I was with 60 Minutes to try and access my file. The only way I could access it was on my own in a room in front of me. I said, I don't need that. I know what the fuck I said. I want to show 60 Minutes what I said so they can air it on a story. It's fucking insane. But you know what? What happened was in the Woods Royal Commission, they put a suppression order on because the judge literally said these words. He said, we cannot allow Australia to hear these accusations because everyone will lose faith in the judiciary system. I gave 22 names to the Woods Royal Commission. I also gave those names to the Royal Commission into Institutional Abuse about lawyers, judges, all these people that I've slowly now been taking to court. They weren't listening to me. They allowed my abusers to leave the country. I had to get them extradited back from overseas, and that is insane in itself because predators are leaving our country, going to Europe and accessing the statute of limitation laws, right? Which means that my abuser had 4 victims, 18 charges. By the time we got him back here, 2 of them victims had lost their case altogether, and he only ended up with 5 charges out of 18. It's insanity. Our country's laws, and like I said, 2 of them got 18 months, 1 got 2 years, 8 months, and then they changed the laws, and my recent abuser, Simon Davies, is the first high-profile pedophile sentenced under the new sentencing laws, which still 10 years doesn't make sense for the amount of abuse that he did and the position he held. It's insane. He's the leading privacy advocate in the world. He works for Google, Facebook, you name all of it. You type him in, Simon Davies, privacy surgeon. Check it out. He's now in jail.
And I had a social worker given to me at 13-year-old. You know, he was my mentor. He was supposed to be looking after me. He was supposed to help get me educated, all right? He was a king pedophile in New South Wales. He went to the Royal Commission. He got immunity because he dobbed in someone bigger and better, which was supposed to be Robert Dolly Dunn. Really, it was Ian William Hughes that was my social worker that leaded that pedophile ring for at least 10 years of his life. You know, kids that were, you know, from broken homes. This is how they picked on people that were battling. They'd take their kids out and shout them out for a day's outing at Luna Park or some amusement centre and then say, righto, you're not going home tonight, you're going to go and stay at my place. And then they abuse them. And then we think, oh, we can't tell anyone, who's going to believe it? That's why I wrote A Beautiful Boy is my book that I wrote. And Glenn's had a copy of that. And that tells you all about a social worker that took me into not only trying to protect me inside institutions, he took me to try and get me fostered by his parents. He tried to manipulate the system, which he did for a very long time, you know, and I feel that the system failed me in that because they're still trying to say that we shouldn't pay you for the rape and abuse that you encountered when you were in his care, and he had me for 5 years of my life. What
You know, Ray,
I'm to say, what was I 17-year-old?
You know, I refuse redress, right, and I still haven't been compensated. And I've had 5 convicted, and I still haven't been compensated.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
It really is appalling and shameful what the state's offering with all the evidence that we've got and all the people that went to the Royal Commission. You mean we're supporting each other with all the background, like the fountain, Elaine Fountain in the Cross. How many kids? You know, we had a social worker that knew all about that. What did she do about it? Nothing. You know?
Yep. This is what we're up against, guys. This is why we all need to come together and say no more. There's a lot of areas and, you know, a lot of things are wrong with this whole system, and we know it, you know. So, yeah.
Enough is enough.
Yeah.
We've got Lost Innocence by Glenn Fisher here from YouTube, Mr. Robot's channel. Let's just have a look at that.
Yeah, this is fantastic work here.
Psychic spies from China try to steal your mind's elation. And little girls from Sweden dream of silver screen quotation. And if you want these kind of dreams, it's Californication. It's the edge of the world.
In here, and we've been doing some filming on the documentary Lost Innocence, and it's a very important documentary for funding to come through so that you guys can see it and understand it and be educated in Australia. I'll hand it over to Glenn now so Glenn can tell you why it's so important.
Hi everyone, you know me as Glenn Fisher, the author of the book Predator's Paradise. Australia has a terrible history, a really dark history, and one it's where we need to have these stories shared. You know, shame dies when stories are told in safe places, and it's time that we start getting these stories told, but we need your help now, where you can click the link below and you can help fund us, and so that we can get the funding that's needed to make this happen. As you know, I've been very vulnerable with my story, and I get up emotional when I think about it because I spent so much of my life hiding the secrets of my past because I was living in shame. And so for those of us who are finally finding our voice, help us continue to find our voice so that we can share this out to the Australian public so these fucking crimes don't ever happen again.
And buy me a star on a boulevard, it's Californication.
All right, and I'll put the link in the chat here.
All right. This is how we help each other, guys. So, yeah, let's get on the job and get this thing done and get it out there. These guys are fighting, you know what I mean, to get this stuff exposed, guys. All right. And this is another part of, what we've got to do. Yeah, big hand out to Mr. Sean. Good clip, you know. Great guy. I've done a few interviews with him out around the traps, and he's on Rumblers too, Mr. Robot. Yeah,
he's incredible.
Yeah.
All right. So what I'll do is I'll get Glenn to take us out with his poem. But Ray, did you want to have some final words? What was the name of your book as well, Ray? I'll just pull that up.
It's called A Beautiful Boy, Ray's Story. Glenn would know every time some prick would be finished with it, they'd always say, that was beautiful.
Beautiful boy.
Or you're a beautiful boy. All right? And it stuck in my head. I've never forgot it, and that's why I named it that.
All right.
Yeah,
Well,
I'll
Glenn's
just
got a
say-
bit of a poem. Glenn's got a bit of a poem
Yeah.
here. He's going to read, and then I'll do a bit of a wrap up, and Caz will have something to go out with, no doubt. But
No, I'm going out with Glenn.
Oh, you're going out with Glenn. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
All
Yeah,
right.
I
So
just
I'll do a
bring
bit
it-
of a wrap up.
Hang on, just give me a minute for it. Hang on, I'm playing with my thing here. So, guys, this is a beautiful boy race story, and this is also available on Amazon. So I'll put that also in the link, or maybe no, I just did that, so that's good. All right. I'm a bit shocked, but anyway. So, Dave, did you want to wrap up and?
Yeah, I just want to. There's a poster out there, guys. It's on all the channels. All right. As these two guys right here, you know what I mean. It's cost them a few whacks in the mouth, guys. It's copped a few black eyes. All right, to tell the truth. All right, and continue to just be on the ropes, copping it. But then guess what? One day you just you float off the ropes and the game changes. You know what I mean? But you have to take a few beatings, guys. Now, what I'm promoting here is tomorrow night's show, guys. All right, you've all took a few hits. All right, you've all been on the ropes for a while. I apologize for that, but I'm a man of my word, guys. All right, I've been giving some people enough time to come back and talk to me. As I said, Como John, you know what I mean? Son, you should have rang me and spoke to me, because now you look like a fool, John, and that's no one's intention. No one is here to make anyone look like a fool. What we are here for in a corrupt, evil society is to get the truth out there. And that's what it's about, guys. All right. And I will not let anything stand in the way of the truth. I will let my character be questioned, beaten up, whatever. It doesn't matter, because at the end of the day, I know I've stood in truth and the truth will come out. So I just thank you guys for what you're doing. Okay. And this is a crazy war, guys. All right. But we're in the middle of it. And guys like this, like I said, these are our national heroes. Everyone go and buy a book, guys. All right. Go and do it.
Support them, guys.
Yeah, because this is how we get things done. Glenn's already had wins in there. I don't know exactly what Ray's done, but, Glenn's exposed these guys, got them out. Ray's well on the way to doing it. And, we got to keep belting them, guys. All right. And this is how we do it with people that are game enough to stand up. So, again, Ray, thank you very much. Glenn.
And also, this is what they're afraid of. Why do you think they've got suppression orders?
Exactly. Take us out, Glenn. Thank you very much, mate.
Yes, thank you.
I will. I just want to say a couple of things before I read this. The first one is that, just for those that know, I run a page called Tiger for Life 66 on TikTok. I've got a lot of traction there, so you can check out my videos there. Secondly, I want to say before I read this is that my dad went to jail for predator charges as well when I was 7. So I got put into an orphanage. Then when I was 9, like Ray, I was raped by an uncle. What happened was docs come and get me. But I started writing poems in jail, and I started writing them cryptically because I didn't want people to understand in jail what I was writing. So here's a poem I wrote called The Mouse. It says, 4 little sparrows reside. I'll try not to get upset when I read this, sorry. 4 little sparrows reside in this house. One's now a peacock, the other's a mouse. A falcon and eagle, they nest in there too. The mouse is so frightened, what does he do? If he moves to the right, the peacock will tell. The falcon is active and picks up on his smell. The hawk is luring, attacks while the mouse is asleep. After the attack, the little mouse does weep. He can tell that the sparrows, they don't comprehend. So the mouse is so frightened, he just longs for a friend. The peacock is laughing. The falcon grooms at his wing. The little sparrow hovers. They try but can't sing. The mouse remains idle, in fear, in pain. The sparrow tries to pick up the mouse, too heavy to strain. 2 lions enter, right through the door. They pick up the mouse. They promise no more. That's dogs. To the jungle they take him, alone and afraid. The mouse now wonders, should he have stayed? Can a mouse protect a sparrow from a falcon or hawk? But he returns, but the peacock won't move or squawk. The eagle is separated, left from the nest, takes with him the mouse to torment at his nest. True, the falcon was violent, likes to play with his kill. The hawk liked to torment, gave him a thrill. The eagle loved the power he held over the mouse, yet 2 beautiful sparrows remained in the house. Parents, love your children, because the reason children are so susceptible to abuse is because, I'm going to say this and be honest with you, all I ever wanted was someone to fucking love me. And because I wanted someone to love me, that allowed my abusers free access. And you need to cure them voids in your children so you don't have any more Glens and Rays. God bless.
Beautiful words, Glenn. Beautiful words. Thank you very much, you two guys. Great show.
Thanks, Glenn.
Great honesty, and yeah, guys, get this out there. They're going to nail this show. They're going to take the share capability off it. So hit it again now, guys, just as we end it. Thanks again, guys. I'll talk to you very soon, Glenn. Thank you, Raymond.
Thank you.